Hello guys, what is happening, and welcome to this live stream. So today we are going through some data from Mexico, in Cabo San Lucas actually, which is a place of interest that we've been looking at, but it has been in a massive bubble, exactly like places all over North America, within the United States and within Canada too. So the data is kind of shocking actually that has come out. So it's the Q2 market report. We're going to dig into that. We're also going to look into some of the nuance around Airbnb and what's happening there. Because I mean, the market in Cabo is highly speculative. It's a market where a lot of people are going to buy investment properties, and it has certainly become a crowded space, as we're going to go through in this video. So I'm going to bring up here this report here and show you exactly what's going on, and I'll read some of the bits and pieces that they put in here. So the report basically says that the market saw a sharp decline in dollar volumes in every price point above 300K USD, a dollar volume decline of 40% versus a unit volume decline of only 20%, put average sales prices into decline. Much of the current state of the market is due to persistent low physical inventory. Now, bear in mind that this report is coming from like a real estate brokerage, essentially. So take everything they say with a pinch of salt, but they do say some funny things, I think, that are worth highlighting here for sure. So let's take a look further into this. Many clients are asking about price direction in Los Cabos amid rising interest rates and slowing markets in America. I always find it interesting because this language has been similar language that I've seen on the real estate emails that I get here in Canada, from Phoenix, Arizona, and from Florida, some of the brokerages that I've signed up for emails there. So it's very similar. Like, you get this sort of mentality, which is people are getting a little bit worried. They're getting a little bit on edge. And it's just a sign of what's to come, basically. Like, basically, when they come out with something like this, many clients are asking about price direction. That means many clients are scared about what's going to happen. And, really anybody who bought a condo or a house in 2021 in Cabo is just like, I mean, it's ridiculous. Like, you paid well over, like, you just paid a really expensive price for a piece of real estate into a insanely crowded market where you're not even going to make that much revenue. So I find this very interesting. It's definitely a place of interest that we're looking at is Mexico, certain places across Mexico, and Cabo is definitely one of them. And we're actually going there. We're booked to go there 3 times over this winter. So we're going to see firsthand what it's like. But to give you some of an idea, the Airbnb that we booked, which is super nice place, really nice condo, beautiful, and I'll show it on a video. But, the thing is, that place is booked up. We are literally the only booking throughout the winter of 2022. And that is kind of like, well, this is the peak season in Cabo and they're not getting booked up. But if you look at the Airbnbs within the vicinity of just the place that we booked, there is about 50 or 60, and about 30 or 40 of them are just near enough identical ones. And you just talk about a saturation of a market. Like, people don't look into these analytics. They don't look into statistics when they go to invest their money in real estate. They just go with their emotions. Their emotions are like, yeah, I want to invest here. I'm set on this place. As you guys know, a lot of you have asked, like, where are we going to move and everything like that. And that is a changing thing all the time, It's hard to say, but definitely Mexico seems like a place which would be nice to move to as sort of a stepping stone, but it depends on the market there. We're not going to move down there and rent a place because it's ridiculous so much more expensive to rent versus buying a place and then owning a couple of properties that you also rent out. But the thing is, right now, it's just totally overvalued and oversaturated. I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. So it's really, really interesting in that respect. So we see demand remaining strong in Los Cabos and prices holding. In America, we understand the same can also be said. We subscribe to a newsletter called The Blueprint, authored by James Harris and David Parnes of $1 Million Listing Los Angeles fame. In the June 21, 2022 issue of The Blueprint, they summarized a recent report from the chief economist of the National Association of Realtors about the real estate market in America. Now, this is hilarious that they put this in there. And this is the last we're going to read of this, and then we're going to dig into the data here. But I found it hilarious that they put this in there because, number one, this is about America, which obviously does have some sort of an impact on Cabo. Most of the people who are buying there, a lot of the people anyway, are from America. There's a lot of Mexicans who are also buying there as well, because Mexico has a big population as well and a rising middle class. So the thing that I find hilarious about that is the two people, I looked into them, and yeah, they're extremely successful in real estate, business people, and they are salesmen. When you really look into them, they are just really good salesmen. So that's not necessarily a bad thing, but you're looking at the National Association of Realtors, which is an association of real estate salespeople, and you're looking at salespeople to tell you what's going to happen with the economy. Like, this is the ridiculousness of what happens in these hysterical markets. And, it's the case right here. But anyway, let's take a look at that data and see what's happened over Q2. So the prices have fell substantially. They've crashed from their highs. They were at highs just like most places were in Q1 of this year, and now they're coming back down to reality. So you had the all residential price, the median, fell 20% over Q2 of 2022. You had houses falling 30%, the median price, and you had condos falling 15.5%, which is a lot. That is a big change. And you've got sales that have also are down 20% over the last quarter. Typically, it would be increasing if you look at the market trends for Cabo, and that's not the case. That's not what is happening. So we're seeing a similar trend to what we're seeing in Canada and what is also starting to happen in the US also now. So I'm going to get rid of this and I'm going to show you some of the charts, because I mean, these charts I made are terrible, by the way, but they do illustrate a point, which is what I want to make, which is these charts, they're not perfect by any means. I just made them in Excel. But what I want to show you here is this. So if you look at this, this is the median price for condos and the all residential median price. And you can clearly see a peak, like that looks like a peak there. Whereas before you can see right in the middle there, I can't put my mouse over it, but you can see how, yeah, it reached a high, but then it kind of slowly tapered off. Whereas here, it shot up exactly like it did in Canada, exactly like it did in the US in Q1 22 this year, and it's coming right back down. So I find that very interesting. Another thing is the inventory. So the inventory, I'll hand them that, is very, very low compared to what it was in, this is actually going all the way back to 2019. So inventory was all the way up at 2,000. It's way below that. Seems like it's bottomed there, but it's still got a long way to go. But we know how quickly that inventory can change. So I find it very interesting. Again, inventory starting to rise. The next thing is sales. So sales, again, it looks like it's peaked out twice there. if not 3 times, but definitely a double top on sales. So it looks like that is coming down, and we've got distinct peaks there as well. So the other interesting thing that I wanted to show you guys, which I think is important, and actually just before we clean that up, I just want to show you this. So this is the data that I put together, which I've been tracking, and I would encourage you guys to always track markets that you're interested in to see what's going on. Don't rely on these newsletters. Make your own charts, note down the sales, the inventory, the median prices, how much it's changing, everything like that. You can use something like I've created here, but it just gives you a track on what's going on. You can see that over 2020, the prices started to rise towards the end, and then exactly near enough the same time as we saw peaks in the markets in Canada and the US, you saw peaks in the markets in 2021 in Cabo. 22% rise Q4 2020 to Q1 2021. That's huge. And now you're seeing this decline that it's put in. So if you look at the decline, like it's down 20% or whatever it is quarter over quarter, but this is the highest percentage decrease that we've seen in price for Cabo since 2020. So that's pretty interesting to me. I think that is pretty important. And also, one thing, I keep going off that, but I want to point out the Airbnb. So this is the inventory decline in Airbnb. So you saw it take a hit in 2020, and then it just absolutely exploded, which I'm going to show you on this other chart right now. And, it really, you have to, if you want to buy investment properties, rent them out, and you want to do it like an Airbnb type deal, then you really need to be looking into these statistics. Most people just go with their emotions, and really you just got to be data reliant. So the thing is, we're going to just look here real quick, and you can see the growth, and we discussed this on another live stream separately about Airbnb. But you've seen a massive growth. It's way above Q2 2019. Like we had 4,850 active rentals in Cabo on Q2 2019. Q2 2022, we've got 6,741. So we've got a massive oversupply, and what I would look for is a decline in this inventory like we saw in 2020, which will happen during the recession, and the prices will follow with that also, because these people, when this happened, prices went down. That's when you saw significant price reductions in the prices, was in that early part of 2020, and guess what? That was when people were abandoning their Airbnbs. And you're going to see exactly the same thing happen when this recession hits. And this recession could be very, very deep recession. Mexico technically already in a recession. And it's not good. Cabo is a very, very interesting place to look at investing, but I would just not touch it at the prices. I mean, people are making around between $20,000 and $28,000 per year on a 2-bedroom rental, and a 2-bedroom rental is probably going to cost you between $350,000 and $450,000. Whereas, that price could be $200,000, $250,000. Give it some time. And the thing is, I'm not emotionally attached to this place, so I don't really care what happens. So for me, I'm looking at other places as well and trying to figure out all different places that I want to monitor. And the thing is, these aren't necessarily places that we're going to live. They're just places that we're going to invest, live for a while, and see how it goes. Things change so often in this world. We live in such a dynamic world where things are changing so often now that I think you really have to be on your feet about where you want to move or go, because you can't just be dead set on a place and say, yeah, I want to, because then you start to get emotionally attached and everything like that, and that'll just trip you up in the future. So anyway, I hope this video was kind of helpful. I hope this live stream was kind of helpful. and it kind of illustrates what's going on in Cabo. I wanted to show it on a live stream. I posted it on Twitter last night. Some people wanted to see it, and I thought, yeah, you know what, let's put this out there, see what happens. But prices are definitely crashing. They're definitely coming down. 20% in a quarter is a lot. That's a big price decline. How far is it going to go? Remains to be seen, but the probabilities are high that this is going to continue, that the Airbnb growth is probably at its peak right now, maybe get a little bit higher in Q3 2022 just because the amount of people who bought in Q2 who are then listing, and then you're going to start to see that contraction early next year, I would think. Guess what? Which lines up perfectly when we are going to be visiting there. So we'll definitely have a good gauge on what's happening, boots on the ground picture. And we're also planning on looking at some other places as well. Puerto Vallarta is another place that is of interest to us, and we're hopefully going to get there maybe January. And we're also thinking Costa Rica. And you've got to go to these places, get your boots on the ground, see what's going on, because it's very hard to sit behind a screen sometimes and know exactly what's going on. And for sure, when we went to Riviera Maya, there was just projects everywhere. They were just building the hell out of that place. So many projects are probably due to complete the end of this year. And what is the market going to look like then? It's going to look absolutely terrible, and you're going to see prices start to tank. Remember, these markets are extremely volatile. They are very, very speculative. They're not like the real estate markets in Canada and the United States, like I would say your bread and butter real estate city market, which has a lot of first time buyers, which has a lot of families. These are mainly speculators that are buying there. So the volatility is that much more insane. But when it gets really scary and nobody wants to buy and the rental growth of the Airbnb listings is tanking, that's when we look to buy. And maybe we do that as a group on this channel, buy a bunch of places. I don't know, but I got a lot of thoughts going on in my mind because there's a lot of great people on this channel, and I know maybe we could do something in the future or something like that. But anyways, I'm going to show you guys how I'm going to do it, and that's going to be the way. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to hit that like button. I forgot to mention it at the start of this video. So please hit that like button just so it gets out on the algorithm, helps support the channel. I will see you guys in the next live stream, which should be on Friday.